Alright, good morning everybody. I hope you're doing great today. Let's wait for some more viewers to join us. But in the meantime, let's talk about what we're gonna be drawing today. And the idea is, well, today will be our last stream. Good morning, Mosque. Nice to see you here. Hey, Schmilicopter, you're also here. Sweet. Alright, so today the stream will be our last for this year. We've come a long way. We have done a lot of things. And since it's the holiday season, I think it makes sense to draw something festive and fun for the last stream. And as such, the topic is Gingerbread House. And I think this topic is broad enough so everybody can do whatever they want, you know, like if you want to draw it flat, you can draw it flat. If you want to make it 3D, be my guest. If it's, you know, if it's isometric interior of a gingerbread house, that's also a good thing. And I created a few references for that. I mean, not created, but just put together. And if you want, you can just type !refs in the chat and you will get the link to the Pinterest board with all the references. But before we begin, I just want to double check that this camera stops auto focusing. You can also send the images of gingerbreads that you have made in our discussion on Telegram. Then I can share them on stream. Okay, where is this focus? Camera control. There you go. This should be better. Yeah. Alright, so there are a few gingerbread houses. There are some very nice ones like the lighthouse, but actually this is the board itself. I think what I like about the topic is that I do generally like drawing houses, so I can also indulge myself in drawing a house but also keep it festive. I'm thinking about something like this. I really like big roofs and like big slanted roofs. I think in northern architecture it's very common topic, common theme, because you need the snow to slide down. So let's just begin with doodling around and seeing what shape of the house comes up. I was thinking about maybe making something like a retrospective into what we did in the previous streams and kind of come up with a topic for all of them together. But I think it might be a little bit too ambitious. Gingerbread. And it's stream 18. 18. We did this 18 times, guys. So, alright, let's see. Oh yeah, there is a house that Schmilicopter did with her family. I mean, maybe we should do the ruins, because it's after Christmas, and I guess for a lot of people Christmas is the main celebration day, holiday. So let's do a house and then make ruins out of it. Oh, sorry. Let's start with just a box and see where it brings us. Or maybe, what do you think? Should it be 3D or should it be like a flat house? Can't decide. Maybe let's just start. You know what? I will do a few thumbnails. That always helps to like keep your ideas going. Isometric. We can do isometric. Sure. We just need to draw the grid. Let's actually, while we're just getting our stuff together, let's go ahead and draw the grid and talk about what to draw. So, as some of you know, isometric grid is a grid with diagonal lines at I think 30 degrees. You need to type !refs in the chat and you will get the link. Yep. Just like this. So yeah, isometric grid is the grid with 30-degree angles, and it's basically, if you have ruled notebook or something like that, you can draw diagonal lines, one high and two wide, so it will be like this, and obviously it will go the other way as well, like this, and this will give you basically the grid for all your construction lines. Yeah. So to do that, in our case, I have this triangle with angles, so I don't actually have to draw, I don't have to make the squares, but still, let's, yeah, I completely forgot how I did it before. It was so much easier. Maybe I should rewatch my own stream to learn something. Alright, so now let's do, I mean, this is not really 30 degrees, it's like 60 degree, but it's 60 here and 30 here, so I don't know which one to count. Yeah, that seems right. Hey, Le Fleur Blanchet is also with us. Good morning to you as well. Haven't seen you around for a while. I hope you're doing well. Wait, that should be 150. And it shouldn't be 150, it should be 120. Yeah. Damn it. So now we have base. I mean, I hope you can see it, right? Yeah, you can see it a little bit. We have the base for our isometric grid, and I will try to keep it minimal. Before I used to do like basically a whole page with grid and draw on top of that. It really helps if you have a lot of, like if you're drawing something big, the more lines you have, the easier it is to follow them. But it's also interesting to try to keep it minimal and just have these 3 lines or 6 lines, 6, whatever, 6, 3, something. So yeah, now let's think about the house itself. It should be, there are basically only two rules. One, it should be gingerbread, and second, it should be house. But what's the purpose of the house? Is it a church? Is it Santa's house? Or is it something completely different? Let's just doodle here on the side and see where it brings us. Maybe, I think I would like to avoid circular structures because I always have troubles with them in perspective. Maybe that's why I should draw some circular structures. Maybe there is like a tower of some sorts and another building in this direction. Maybe like a balcony on this side or some little tower. And then we make ruins out of this by destroying them. What do you guys think? Do you think we should come up with a topic for the house, like who it belongs to, or like what's the idea behind it? Maybe it's a tavern or a castle. I think it just should have an interesting shape in general. Maybe it should be like a farmer's house with, I don't know, big storage for milk. Or like a cheesemaker's house. Or you know what? Since it's gingerbread, does ginger come from China? I think it does. Maybe it could be like some sort of Chinese architecture. Or like a pagoda, you know. Like a shrine. Gingerbread shrine. How about that? Or you know what? Yeah, I think I have an idea. Since it's also bread, maybe it's like a huge windmill. Maybe not huge, but should be a windmill, and then it's a house of a gingerbread maker. Okay, I think I like this idea. Maybe there is. So the house itself is kind of stuck in the windmill. Sometimes it looks actually really cool. Like you can see it in real life as well. So maybe something like that, and it could have like an extra house on this side, maybe like a storage house or something like that. And windmill also can have various different tops, like, you know, there are so many different windmills. Yeah, I think that could be a good idea. Let's do a quick search for references for windmills, because we're professionals here. We always work with references, obviously. Okay. There are some windmills. I think I like this one. This one looks kind of similar to what I have there. Stream references, let's go. Alright, so to begin with, I think I will lay down the ground for the windmill. So I basically need to come up with some sort of ground plan. So let's do that real quick. We can do it easily from the frontal view if you have it. You know, you just trace the width of what you have and say, okay, here is the front line, the front of it. So everything that you see on the front will be projected on this plane if you're seeing from this side. So basically there would be like, this would be one house, maybe it's this big, and then there is the windmill itself. Could be like maybe this size here. Then there is this little extra house, goes maybe from here to here. Could be like a little tunnel or something like that. And then maybe another house here, or not a house, but like another part of the windmill. So we will need to add that as well. And we need to add the chimney somewhere. Maybe another chimney for this one. This could be like a little garden. I don't know if we will see it because it's gonna be on the other side, but I think that could be a nice garden for the gingerbread man. You don't need a pencil. You can use a pen. Although when somebody steals your pencil, it doesn't feel good, I must say. Okay. Something like this, just to have an idea of what is it gonna look like. I think it might be hard to draw the propellers of the hands of this windmill, but we'll see how it goes. Maybe there is like a little fence here and something in front of it, maybe like a, I don't know, maybe place to chop down the wood or something like that. Doesn't really matter, we can think about it later. But for now, let's just go ahead and draw some floor plan here. So this is the shape that we want to draw on our isometric grid, so that later we can just raise vertical lines from each corner and like each intersection basically, and we'll have our house. That's actually really easy. It just needs some time. so I think I will draw it from maybe from this angle. Or from left or from right. From left we will see some of the garden, and from the right we will see this gallery here on the side. Don't know. Let's do it from. Let's do it from the right. Okay, so let's define our front line here, how big we want our picture to be. It's going to be quite high, so it usually tends to turn out higher than you would expect, so be careful with that. So let's say it should be maybe somewhere here. Yeah, and then the other side, we're basically trying to define the left front corner, this thing here. Hey, good morning, Chucha. Welcome to the stream. We're drooling. We're doing gingerbread houses today. And also in isometric view for some reason, just to make it more interesting. Alright, so yeah, we're trying to define this angle because that's gonna be the lowest. This corner, this is going to be the lowest point in our drawing, and I think this should be somewhere maybe like here. And then we draw this line back, kind of this one, this wall. It will go from this corner backwards. I think I'm drawing it actually from the wrong side. If this is the lowest corner, then I'm drawing it from the left bottom side. Food? Oh. Well, yeah. You can make a real gingerbread house and eat it. Or you can eat paper. I don't advise it, but you know, people have different feelings about paper. You know, some people like it, some people don't. Yeah, that would be cool. Alright, so I messed up, sorry about that. We're trying to define this angle because we're drawing from this side, so this face, like this side A and this side B, will be basically like this will be A and this will be B. This will be B. So that's why we're trying to basically identify all these points on this line here and identify these points of interest on this line here. Now we're talking. I think I figured it out for myself as well. Great. So the furthest point on this line is this one. I mean, there are also other points, but I think we need to mark only the one that's touching the line. So maybe here it will be like something like that. And then we'll move this line a little lower, maybe even here. I'm trying to keep the lines parallel to the grid that we have, but you know, I guess at the end of the day, no matter what you do, there will be little mistakes here and there, and that's okay. We're not robots yet. Alright, so we have this point X here. And from it we can also see, okay, like this will be the furthest left point because this is basically our angle of view. Like we're seeing these points as the corners, so this will be the leftmost point. So maybe like I don't want to go too far left, so maybe like here. Okay, so now we have roughly the volume. So if you imagine, you know, like there will be the house here, there will be the windmill itself here, something like that. Let's just get some vertical lines going and see what turns out. So I want to define this. This is basically the main house here. Then I want to draw it first, obviously, so it's kind of halfway between these 2 points. And again, it doesn't have to be precise. It's your own design, so you can change it on the go if you want to. Just try to keep every line on each one of those planes parallel to one of the axes that we drew. So this is our house. Maybe it's not that long. Maybe it's like until here, and then we can just draw a line from here. How are your gingerbread houses doing? Did anyone else except of Schmelicopter make an actual gingerbread house this year? Alright, so now we have this shape here. It's this one. And to construct the walls, we basically just need to raise vertical lines from it. And I don't know, if you don't have a ruler, you can do it by hand, but I prefer doing it with a ruler because I like the drawings on the isometric grid to be kind of more mechanical and less human-like, kind of, because I really like the look of it, you know. There is something about isometric grid that makes me want it to have kind of robotic feel a little bit. Maybe because it's common view in computer games sometimes. I don't know. What? Wait. Ah, you're thinking about making... Alright, Moscow, his son, are thinking about making the gingerbread pine trees. We can also put some pine trees here, actually. Or maybe not pine trees, just in general some things. Alright, so basically now we have this point. Let's work from this one. This line is parallel to the front line here, so from this point we can just draw a line parallel to one of our axes, like this. So we have this wall now here. Maybe there will be another garden in front here, because then it will look more lively or something like that. Oh, you know, maybe Mosk, you can design a house on stream and then draw it and then make it later with your son. How about that? With circles, it's always a little tough. I think you need to find the center and the square where you can fit it in, and then you just put the circle inside of that. So I think in our case the center of the windmill is on the intersection of these lines, kind of like here. And then I wanted to take some part of the house, so maybe it will be like this wide, but with the isometric views, it's always at the end it always turns out bigger than you have space for. At least in my experience, it's always really big. So this will be our windmill, these points, and then we need to do the same in the other direction. So in my case, I know that it was 4 centimeters, I think. So now we have our points for the circle. Basically, these are the touching points. Now you can just try to fit in the circle in there. But also you can help yourself with some more guidelines, like here, and another one on this side, and also one parallel here, and the same goes for the other point. So this here is this. Wait, no, this. This is the square where we need to fit in the base of our windmill. So it might help a little bit to just, estimate all the intersections and everything. I will just eyeball it for now, and then we'll see if it looks like a circle or not. And if not, we can work on that. Looks circular enough. Yeah, I think with real gingerbread it's probably hard to make circular structures. I guess you would bake a thin sheet of gingerbread and then roll it and glue it with the whatever it's called. With a glaze, that's the word. Now I'm actually thinking that the windmill turned out too big. I think I will need to make it smaller, because imagine it's going up like this, or like it goes smaller, but still it's not gonna really fit. So I think I'll have to fix this real quick. Let's make it twice as small. Now I can maybe try to eyeball it a little bit better. Let's see. So yeah, we'll have to just push our house a little bit further. And we can also bring maybe the house from behind. We can bring it outside of there. Yeah, maybe we'll just shrink everything a little bit. That's the problem when you don't have infinite workspace. You eventually run into restrictions of your paper size if you don't plan careful enough. Which I didn't, so I have to pay for that. What am I doing? Alright, so let's see. We'll have, then this gallery will be maybe here. It will go somewhat like this. Here, something like that, and then the house will go from the intersection with the windmill, which is this point here, maybe it goes like this and ends up kind of here. So you see, we had to move everything a little bit to the right and shrink it a little, but I think it's gonna work out at the end anyway. Alright, let's do some of this here. I won't do everything with a ruler. I will just do the main shapes of structures, and then I think I will do the details kind of freehand. So we have one wall of the house, another one here. Now we need the roof. And the roof should be, I guess, somewhere like in the middle. Could be also tall roof, because as I mentioned before, ginger houses with tall roofs look really cool. And if you just joined, we're doing Gingerbread House in isometric view. And if you're interested in references, you can find them by typing !refs in chat. Alright, so let's see how this goes. Here we do a parallel line to the roof. Alright, I think this is too big, probably, for the windmill to work. But it will be a very one-sided windmill, it's okay. It's a windmill that works only from winds from one angle. It doesn't turn, unfortunately. But maybe the house is also, you know, positioned in the valley somewhere, so you only like in a very narrow valley somewhere here, so the wind blows only from one side. That's how you fix your design mistakes. If you made a design mistake in a drawing, just come up with some bullshit to justify it. Not sure that how it's supposed to work, but oh well. Okay, so we have another line here for the gallery, and it needs to be tall enough. So if this is one-story house, then this one should also be much higher. Yeah, maybe it's actually two-story house, so it's like this. 1, 2, and then the top floor, or maybe like it has a huge basement. Don't know. Yeah, let's make it have a huge basement. I like this idea more, because then I don't have to make human size so big, you know. Everything needs to kind of be in the proportions of gingerbread humans, I guess. Alright, and then like everything will follow these curves here. This will be parallel to this one, which is kind of hard to do, but you know, you get to do it. And then we don't see anything anymore. This goes like here. Then we have our windmill kind of thing here, and I think it's gonna temper a little bit to the top. So if the center is somewhere around here, then it can become like something like this. Oh, all right. Thank you for joining, Chucha, and have fun. I hope the concert goes well. All right. Yeah, and maybe the this temper will be just straight line. Just to make it a little bit easier, and maybe the whole windmill will be not really circular but octagonal or something like that. We'll see. We will see. So okay, there should be some kind of top on the windmill, and then its propeller or whatever it's called, the hands of the windmill, no, hands of the clock, will stick out here, maybe like this. It still should be on the same, like it all should follow the same axis everywhere, kind of. That's the beauty, but also the tricky part of the asymmetric drawings, because it kind of needs to follow the guidelines, and if it doesn't, it looks awkward, just like this windmill here. Lefleur suggests to put the is this crane? Yeah, crane's nest there. And maybe it's not a bad idea, but how the windmill will work? I don't want to use the crane's nest just to hide my mistakes. That's not how you deal with them. People are shooting fireworks at 11 o'clock in the morning. Oh wow, that sounds like a big concert, Chucha. I hope it goes well. I'm sure it's gonna be fine. And you have done so many concerts already, so I don't think you have to worry about anything. Maybe I'll move the roof like here and then make it a little bit tilted to that side. I'm just trying to solve the problem of the windmill not being able to rotate. It's bothering me for some reason. And I'm sorry, but I have to deal with it real quick. So we'll have also this thing here. Yeah, I will post the picture from the stream. Definitely, I will definitely put it in the story right after the stream, and then if I need to finish it up, I will take some time and then post it on Instagram again. Don't worry. And if we will draw something later, maybe like a little gingerbread house, feel free to share it also. It's a very weird house, I'll agree with anyone who thinks that. But can't really do anything about that. Let's have very small windmill blades, just to make it easier, and also to make it fit in the paper. I accidentally kicked our little mascot. Just for the ease of it, let's make the windmill blades parallel to our axis, so we don't have to overthink it really. So it will be something like this. Yeah, I think that might work. we kinda need to have I think I want to connect the gallery to the house, because it's kind of weirdly shaped. There is good weird and there is weird, and this one is weird. Yeah, I think if you have holidays until, and I don't know, few first days of January, that's a great time to just chill and draw and take your time with it if you wanted to draw. And I know you two want it, so that would be great. So it's gonna be this high. And we'll move the roof a little bit higher then as well, like this. And also that means probably making the whole gallery bigger. Where's this one? So it's like this, and then we need the same. Let's just measure it, 2, 2, yeah. And this will be parallel because it's the same. It's a cylindrical shape, not tempered, not a conical shape. So this will be parallel to the circle at the bottom. So we can just try to make sure that at every point it's equal distance from each other, which is this kind of roughly, maybe a little bit. Yeah. I'm feeling like actually doing it around the whole windmill now, because it kind of doesn't make sense that it's only on one side. So we need to have the same height here. And then it goes out like this. So yeah, something like that. It would be, yeah, that's actually how it would be then. And then there's another circle here. So we would actually see the whole roof of this gallery round windmill. And then we can stick the house in there like this. And it even can have a whole roof like it had before. Yeah, something like this, and then I think it's kind of taking shape a little bit. What do you think? Does this make sense windmill wise, or like a house, or is it weird? And how are your gingerbread houses are doing? Are you drawing something? This will be, I guess, the first floor. Probably it's not a good idea to have a big house in front of windmill, because it blocks the wind. But you get good ideas only when you don't need them, so you know, it doesn't really matter. It's a gingerbread windmill, so it can have structural mistakes. It wasn't designed by an architect, but by a gingerbread maker. Then maybe there will be like a little shed on this side. I think I will use less of a ruler now, because it's the main structural elements are done, so I can just go a little wild and add some details here and there. Fleur says she's still watching, but planning to draw a house. Maybe not a gingerbread house. Is it gonna be some other kind of bread? Yeah, gingerbread is a very important part of the task, and right now we have nothing gingerbready about it. Thanks, Schmidicopter, for the reminder. Let's go back to the references. A piece of castle. That sounds good. Let's go to the references and see what makes the gingerbread house a gingerbread house. Basically, it's definitely, obviously, it's the color. So we need brown, we need white for the glaze, green and red for the decorations, but also it's usually really plain, like the walls are really plain, and then you have like 1 or 2 windows with some decorations around them. Okay, let's see some other examples. In most cases, all the details are painted, so we can make some decorations here around the wall. Maybe like there is a painted door here and painted windows. Let's just steal some ideas from Pinterest and see what it brings us. Okay, what else do we have here? The roofs are also often painted. Maybe one of the windows can be cut through. And how we could draw white decorations with watercolor. Well, it's there. I think there are 2 ways. One is to start with the decorations and then you draw it with maybe like a little bit of yellow, but nothing, because nothing is really, really white, right? So you can draw it with a little bit of yellow or a little bit of ochre or something like that on the white, and then draw the rest around. Or if you're drawing ginger, like the whole ginger part first, you can take some white gouache and go on top of that. But I'm not a big fan of white gouache, so yeah. All right, I think let's not go too much into the construction details, and let's just do the ginger decorations, the gingerbread, the glaze, because I think that's the main point of Gingerbread House. To have a lot of decorations. Let's go chimney. Then I don't know if I want to do the decorations with a pencil or if I just want to like hint where they will be. I think I will outline it with my ink pen and then do the watercolor on top. But probably outline first, so it's easier to know where is what. And all of the gingerbread houses, not all, but a lot of them have these icicles hanging from the roof. So that seems like a common theme. Let's add that. So I will add that with a pen and that would be easier. Then the wobbly roof tiles. They should be roughly the same size and kind of still laying on the surface, so I will do some guidelines for that. That's an interesting point. Schmelicopter raised that gouache can actually add some some real volume to the thing. Maybe even acrylic then, because I think gouache is still really watery. I guess when it dries, maybe not that bad, but so. But it's a good idea to add glaze, like basically you can add real glaze on your paper. Alright, something like this. Big tiles, easy to draw. And then the windmill, I think I will make it maybe not circular, because it seems like it's really hard to do something circular with gingerbread. Like these people manage it somehow, but didn't know. Maybe I'll just keep it circular. This will be super hard to draw though. Why did I do this to myself? Didn't know. There's this side. Oh, it's gonna be here. Much more open, because in isometric view there is no perspective distortion, so like everything should be parallel to each other, kind of, if it's in the same plane. Good old Zamaska. It's the Russian word for the character fluid, the white thing that you use to correct your mistakes when you're a kid. Alright. I think it's getting a little bit hard to follow the shape of this, so let's clean up just a tiny bit. Maybe that's enough. All right. Should I make these, or should I keep these round, or should I make them straight? What do you guys think? Keep it round or square it up? Let's put a heart in this one. Just because it seems like a common gingerbread theme. Yeah. And also it looks like there are decorations on every corner. Well, actually, not always, but there are decorations around the windows. It doesn't have to be really perfectly accurate and size-wise as well. It's not that in this house somebody will live, so it has to be believable enough, but don't have to go overboard with it. Some decorations here and there. Alright. I think I will go ahead and do the outline. I hope we still can manage to do a little bit of watercolor on stream, but we'll see how it goes. What what else is usually included? There are some candies, right? Some like nuts and little pretzels. I like the idea of little pretzels. Where can we put a little pretzel? Maybe the roof is made with pretzels. No, that's gonna be too much work. Okay, let's have a pretzel sticking out of the chimney. I think that's an appropriate place for a pretzel. Should still follow the same guidelines. Even if you're a pretzel, you still need to follow the rules. Yeah, I will lift off the pencil before watercolor. I have a kneaded eraser, so I will do the outline and then remove the pencil, and then it will be still good enough for watercolor. So that's at least that's the plan. Let's see. Whoops. Let's see how it goes. there could be another pretzel here. This should have some thickness because they're made of gingerbread, so there needs to be some thickness to them. And I think I will draw the what are they called? The glaze decorations as other structural elements. So, all right, let's go to the inking. And make sure that if you're inking something before doing watercolor, make sure that you're using archival ink or, you know, the non-water soluble ink, because I have done I have done that mistake before when you're really excited and drawing something and then you're thinking, oh, I will do watercolor, I will put some watercolor in it, it will look amazing, and you do the watercolor and then it all turns into black mass because it's not meant for watercolor. So I think Pigma micron pens usually have archival ink, so that one is good to go. This one is Tombow, it's my favorite. It's wait a second, I will double check because I don't want to ruin this whole thing. Okay, let's say I did some drawing with my pen and now I have some water here, and then I draw some watercolor around. It does blur for some reason. I see your point. It's good that I double checked that. Although I'm pretty sure that I drew with this pen before and it wasn't lifting. It's weird. Maybe it needs some time to dry. Let's see this one. Is it gonna still lift? No. Okay, that was just not dry enough. Yeah, alright, let's continue our adventure with possibly water-soluble ink. It says water-based pigment ink, but I don't know. Shall we do another test? Let's let it dry. In the meantime, I will actually go ahead and lift some of the pencil from the paper. Just a little bit. Still want to be able to see the structural elements, but I don't want it to be that dark. Alright, let's see. With the water now. Okay. So I'm doing the watercolor, a lot of water, nothing happens. Alright, sweet. Phew. I get worried there for a second, but I know for sure that I drew with this pen and watercolor and nothing happened. That's why I love this pen so much as well. But I got doubts for just a second. I'm sorry, pen. Let's do the glaze icicles. And they kind of, since they're affected by gravity when you put them on, they supposed to go straight down, so make sure to follow these vertical guidelines that you might have on your drawing. Just trying to make them a little bit different from one another, but at the end of the day they're all gonna be different anyway, because it's really hard to draw something super identical. Alright, so we have our first layer of glaze. And we also need to kind of keep in mind which elements will be gingerbread and which elements will be glaze, and make sure we draw the border between them, because it will be much easier later with watercolor. So here, for instance, I think I want this to have like a glaze brick design decoration. So I will need to make the lines that I just drew thicker, because they will be made with glaze, so they have some thickness to them. You will see what I mean in a second. Something like this. And then there's a gingerbread part and the glaze part. Gingerbread, glaze. Gingerbread, glaze. And then is our pretzel here. Is pretzel a Christmas thing? Or is it just there because people use everything to decorate their gingerbread houses? Seems like it's the latter. Alright, how does a pretzel look? That's a good question. Let's do a quick reference search for pretzels. I had it in one of the gingerbreads. Where was it? Here, I think. Yeah, there are the pretzels. So they basically don't intersect there, it's just like this. Alright, we have a pretzel in the chimney. How good is that? Now add another, like a little bit of thickness and unevenness here, because it's gonna be glazed. I kind of like the whole white roof look. I don't think I want to add decorations, because, or maybe like I will add little drips of glaze, because I really like the completely white roof look. Like this, you know. Thank you, LeFleur. Did you manage to start doing a gingerbread house as well? Or a castle? Are you gonna make it a ruined castle? Ruined gingerbread castle? Of the gingerbread night? Maybe we should have played around with the idea of gingerbread people and, you know, like gingerbread kingdom and all that stuff. Maybe that would be fun. Opened watercolors. Whew. That's a big step. That's a start. That's the good stuff. Alright, and now from this side here we can actually see the edge of the roof, so the icicles will start appearing on this side as well. And some of them will be longer, some will be smaller, and there will be a few clusters here and there. But it's all made by humans, so if someone wants to have them uniformly distributed alongside, that's also possible. Alright, so what else can we add to our gingerbread house? This one has a lot of decorations. Okay, let's cut the window through. Like this, and then you will be able to see the bottom part, the inner cut, the thickness of the gingerbread. I think with these little decorations, the tiny ones around, I will switch to another ink pen, and this one doesn't have any ink in it. So I will switch to another pen, a thinner one, 005, and this one has some ink, and that should be enough. Alright, so because I don't want since these decorations around windows and all that stuff, they will be made with thin glaze, kind of, so I don't want to have like a thick black line next to it, so Christmas candy somewhere, white and red. Oh, you mean the cane? Those candy canes, these ones? If you want to have it more like a homemade look, don't forget that people make mistakes when they're doing glaze and all that stuff, and sometimes the glaze doesn't come out evenly, so make sure that it's uneven if that's the look you're going for. I think I will add this. I like the idea of having like a little pad there. Gingerbread pad. Yeah, that's not a bad idea with a candy cane. Maybe it's just, you know, like laying on the roof or something like that. Like it's supposed to be decorated house, right? So maybe it's just laying here. Like this. Maybe another. Yeah. What are other Christmas candies? Maybe we need some more of them. And I will push this wall a little bit in because I want these icicles to hang. I want the icicles to hang out. Yeah, but that's kind of the truth as well. I want them to stand a little bit away from the wall. So the actual house inside is like this. Yeah. So you will see a little bit of the gingerbread roof there. Maybe I'll do the outline with the thicker one. Yeah, maybe something along these lines, and then the door. The door might be cut through, but not really like taking out of the wall of the gingerbread, so I don't think I want to make it a hole like this, but it could be a little bit open like this. Just to have some thickness to it. I think this already looks kind of like Gingerbread House. So if you're at this stage in your drawing, you can relax a little bit and just have some fun. Also, I think because I moved the wall, all my windows and doors messed up, so there is that. I will have to draw them differently, I guess. And they can be huge because, again, this is all kind of like a dollhouse, so the windows can be big and unproportional to the door. Okay, and then there is decorations here. And if it's wobbly and weird, then I guess it's even better because it all adds up to this homemade look. Okay, let's look for some more. Like, some people go really wild. Gingerbread man. Yeah, I will add the gingerbread man later here. Maybe he's chopping down wood. That's what gingerbread men do usually. With a huge axe. Yeah, but maybe I'll add that later. First, let's finish with the outlines of the decorations. What do we do with the door? What people do with doors usually? Oh no. Let's actually save. Oh, I already saved this one. All right. Because I think it's a good. It's kind of simplistic, but also really nice. I think I'll just steal this whole design idea with these outlines for windows and dots around. That's really good. Good job, someone who came up with this. I will I will add my own touch to it by adding some sort of like a wobbly crown to the top of the window. Now it's my design. That's how it works. I think I shouldn't have added the lines here. I think it would be better if I would do it like they did there. You know, like you draw the outer shape first. And then inside you don't draw the lines, but you draw only the holes themselves. These ones. Something like that. Don't know which one looks more glazy. They're like completely different size, the windows. But that's how gingerbread houses sometimes turn out. Very asymmetrical, very weird. But I guess that's part of the fun. Maybe it was decorated by a child. Very, very young child who can't probably even hold a glaze machine. Like this outline around the door and inside the door as well. Something like this. Don't know, maybe something along these lines. Just blobs of glaze here and there. Yeah, I think the idea of moving the wall came to me kind of too late to make it look good. But oh well. Doing like an uneven line because I think maybe here will be a bunch of snow. Do people also decorate gingerbread houses with chocolate? Or is it only white glaze? Maybe just a little bit of this glaze dripping on top of the house roof. As if somebody was just pouring the glaze on top. Something like this. I don't know, maybe it will add some little variations and will look better with watercolor. Alright, now about this whole thing. What are other decorative elements for gingerbread houses? Is there something we can put on top of the windmill? Well, not being a gingerbread. What are these? Macaroons? Maybe there can be a macaroon here. Macaron? You know what I mean, these, the coconut things with, is it coconut? No, it's marzipan. Almond cookies. Now we're talking. So now drawing the gingerbread thickness. Macaron. Almond flour, yeah, that's what I mean. Doesn't look like a macaron, maybe it's a very small one. Alright, so I'm actually getting close to the end of the inking. So, let's just, don't know what to do with this top thing. Is there anything fun that we can put there? Maybe, these are nice, let's save them. Stream references, no wait, these are gingerbread references. Okay, I can't really come up with anything myself. So let's just put a blob of glaze on top. You know what we can do? We can search for gingerbread decorations house, gingerbread house decorations. There you go. And maybe there is something to put on top there. Okay, it's all what we already know. All right. And then let's just put a shitload of glaze on top. a lot. I like this. Something like that, maybe. Also dripping from every side. And now we can remove some of the pencils from the inner parts of these windmill things, and then put some glaze inside. Maybe maybe just, don't know, just lines like this. And can have like little dots in between, maybe. This will take a while to watercolor. But I guess that's what we're going for now. We'll leave a little bit more space here because it seems like the dots don't really fit. Maybe each one of them was decorated by a different person in the family. So let's have this one be like a big outline, and then just this kind of, wait, I want a pencil guideline. This will help. You just draw within the lines. You need to have good eyesight for that though. Because I'm struggling a little bit. Alright, maybe one of them is like this, and then the other one can have maybe like a crisscross pattern. Or maybe just like this, actually I like it like that. Yeah, actually, I kind of like it like this. Alright, let's do the candy cane. Maybe candy cane is like a little bit submerged in the glaze. Alright, so what's left? What's left? I think this roof will be also just glazed. Maybe there will be like some more decorations here. And also maybe we need some bottom part here as well. And this, yeah, this also can have windows, right? And maybe if not windows, then just some kind of decorations. Like maybe some sort of like a cross, or you know, anything just to break up the boring gingerbread wall into something more fun. Maybe something like this. Yeah, I guess that's actually, it's okay. Like if there will be a gingerbread man in front of it, waffles. Waffles. I don't see any waffles on any of these decorations. That's the problem. Yeah, but if we'll have a gingerbread man in front, then this place will be kind of occupied, which is good. We can actually get some more drippage here, like some more of these lines that indicate that it was all just pouring down. I'm trying to keep it on the surface because the surface is going around like this, but it's actually quite hard. But you know, it's all good at the end. Alright, something like this. And then maybe there could be like a pine tree, gingerbread tree. There were some gingerbread trees somewhere. Where are they? Right, there they are. Something like this, maybe like there is one sticking out here. And maybe one is sticking out like here. Maybe even two. Maybe it's too easy then. Okay, let's remove the second one. One is enough. Or maybe the second one is just smaller behind it. Don't forget the thickness of the gingerbread. I don't know how these trees are made. Is it just colorful glaze? Oh, the waffle propeller. Yeah. Maybe I do have a waffle propeller. I think also maybe we can add some more decoration to this part of the windmill. Just to have it somehow more, I don't know, a little more fun, I guess. Something like this. this. Yeah. All right. I think actually this is alright. How is it going on your side, guys? Any progress? Anything to share with the stream? We're probably gonna wrap this up in a couple of minutes. I think my pine trees, or yeah, is it pine tree? My trees probably will be just made out of glaze put on top of the gingerbread. That's the style I'm going for, at least. Let's see how it turns out. This maybe. You can share, you can send your progress in the Telegram channel. There is a discussion board there as well, and then I can show it on stream. I haven't come up with a good way to be able to, you know, directly share through chat. So for now, that's kind of the only way. And now I will just, as I mentioned before, I think Brand asked. Fir trees? Those are one kind, some Christmas trees, let's call them. Yeah, I think Brand asked what if I put watercolor on pencil, but not really. You just go ahead after it and remove most of the pencil marks. Especially with the kneaded eraser, that's kind of easy to do because it goes in all those, in all the texture of the paper. But you can also do it with a regular eraser, especially if you let your ink dry up a little bit so it doesn't get smeared that much. And this, I really like this eraser, like the Muji eraser. Don't care about the black shavings that it produces. You can just clean them up, but it's really soft and it does a good job with cleaning up pencil marks. Alright, so now we have our gingerbread house, kind of. Maybe I'll add some more details and things around, but that's kind of it for now. Let me know, guys, if you drew something. If you did, I would be thrilled to see it on Instagram with the hashtag psketchbookstream. But I think this will conclude our stream for today and also the streams for this year. Thanks to everybody for journeying along for the ride and drawing and sharing your progress and your art. I wish you all a lot of creativity next year, and we won't see each other for the next couple of weeks, but I will announce the next stream, the first stream for the next year, at some point in January, probably in the middle of January. We'll see. Until then, keep drawing, keep sharing your art, keep safe, love each other, and have some nice rest. Thanks everybody for joining, and I see you all next time. Bye bye.